evening and welcome to Coffee and Tea with Aeson and Natalie, aka the Pendulum's Path. How are you, darling? It's been a month since we've actually even talked.
I know it has, and
Me.
it's not because I haven't wanted to. It's just been a few random messages here and there, like, hey, something's going on. Okay, let's fix this. Let's fix that. Okay, and that's been it. It's been all business and absolutely zero, like, not friendship, but it's just like that's been put on the back burner for a minute. And I'm
Well, it
sorry.
has. No, it's okay. But no,
It
I want to
happens.
aggravate you a little bit and, and remind you, I'm still over here. Possibly, I don't know, because, there's been some arresting developments in the house over here, too.
Hmm.
But let's and which we're going to talk about. But no, you've been doing your health crisis. I've been doing my okay. This is fucking weird. Behavior.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. So which one you want to take on? My new theory or your new opinion?
Let's start with you.
Okay. So the past 3 days, I have felt like I am drudging through fucking bad Mississippi coffee. Not even the good stuff. The bad Mississippi coffee. That they used to drag out of the river.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, so night shift isn't working anymore. Day shift isn't working anymore. What am I supposed to fucking do? Because I'm supposed to have schedules and hours and appointments and yada, yada, yada. So the intelligent, sexy, sweet Joe says, I think you're non 24. And I'm like, what do you mean? He says, well, the past week you haven't, if you go down for a nap, you're dead. Actually, for the past month. And I kind of made this opinion, a couple of years ago that you were non 24. So guess what I'm going to try doing?
Hmm.
Tracking my sleep and my awake time to see if I am
Yeah.
24. And then if I can find a pattern in it, then it'll make scheduling a whole lot easier.
Right, it really will, won't it? And then you can it's one of those things, like, once you understand yourself a little bit better, you can make the world work better for you
Yes.
instead of like working against the world or
Yeah.
feeling like you're working against the world, having it feel like, okay, so I'm making the world work for me now.
Yeah.
Um Hi Tay, I've missed you so much, my friend. Yeah, this retrograde has definitely kind of it's been a kick in the teeth, and I kind of say that most retrogrades are rough. I've
Mhm.
gone through some that have been a breeze, and I'm like, I don't know what everyone is complaining about because I didn't have any issues.
Mhm.
This one, even the shadow leading up to it, good golly, I was just like, I'm done. I just want to crawl into a hole and just forget that like the past like 28 days has even happened. But unfortunately, we're
I don't
still
get
in it.
that option.
Right. I was like, unfortunately, we're still in it, and we're still moving. And
Right.
the technology problems, the miscommunication issues that have been happening,
Right.
bad news, or feeling like you've taken a massive giant step backwards when it comes to your health and the progress that you've made in life. Like, a lot of people are taking giant steps backwards, but it's not a step backward, it's just a redirection. And
Right.
I'm trying to be mindful that even though things feel really awful right now,
For the
change
moment.
is happening. Yeah, just hang on a little bit longer.
Right. Well, and that's because, you've got doctors saying, well, you can't do that really. And it's like, really? Okay. Well,
Yeah,
sorry, they don't know what the hell they're doing, in my opinion.
yeah.
I will say bitch slap. Doctor said I would be in a wheelchair by age 42. Fuck them. I am past that, and I'm still not in a wheelchair, and fuck them again.
Right.
Um, the other part of that is sometimes we have to look at what they say, but more so look at it as okay. So what can I do without them?
Hmm.
Okay. Example: this non-42, I see doctors regularly. I've got a nice, lovely super doc. I see him regularly. He has done everything, including prescribing some sleeping pills that just make him comatose. Say, okay, maybe that's not it. Um, this, that, and another. So sometimes I think we have to go into our own energy and
Right.
look and see, okay, what's worth it? What do we need? What do we need to occur here? Weird example, and this may make sense, it may not. I was for a very long time advised do not do yoga. It's just going to piss your joints off. It's going to make you tired. Don't do yoga. And of course, they always say, stay the hell out of the tanning bed because you'll get skin cancer. You know what makes Aeson feel good? Body feel good?
One sec.
Okay.
Oh.
What happened? I think it was someone was sending me a message and it blacked out my headphones. Sorry about that. I was
okay.
like, I can't hear you. Suddenly someone was trying to call me on message. Sorry.
It's okay. But what makes Aeson feel good is tanning beds. What makes Aeson feel good is yoga. So he says, that's a cute opinion. Thank you for your opinion, but I know my body better than you do.
Oh.
So my advice, although not medical, because Aeson doesn't give medical advice.
I don't know what's going on. Hang on one second. I'll be right back. I'm going out and coming back in again. I'm so sorry, folks. I think that just messed me up real quick. Hang on.
Okay. She'll be right back. But my advice is, listen to your body. Yeah. And, welcome everybody. Hello, Divine Huntress. How are you, my darkness? Bambi Joe. Hello. Ashley, how are you? Tay, how are you? Yeah, the past 2 days, the energy has been crazy. Ashley, be sending energy your way. Hello. And hello, Miss Brenda. How are you? All right, guys. So here's the standard question. What you drinking? Because, I'm having coffee. I'm sure Natalie's having tea. What you drinking? And what is your Mercury in retrograde be going like? Now, we are taking questions tonight. Of course, every show we take questions unless I've got an author on and I can't take questions, but no, when it's, the host hosting, we take questions. Heck, even Techie Joe takes questions. Oh, wine. That sounds lovely. I'm doing really well for, everything, including everything. I'm doing amazingly well in my viewpoint of things. Sweet tea. Northern sweet tea or southern sweet tea? Because it's more, if it's southern sweet tea, it's more than sweet. It's super sweet. Because that stuff's made out of simple syrup. So large debate in our house, what is sweet tea and what is just normal tea. So hopefully she will be back soon. All right. Southern sweet tea. Ooh, that's majoring. Tay, yesterday picked up my kids from school. A truck sped past us and a bucket of glass flies off the truck. Today I picked them up and my middle son vomits all over the back seat. Ooh. That's bad. Yeah, I might, you might want to look at a different way to do it. Ooh. So Miss Brenda's having Mountain Dew water with a Big Mac salad waiting for her for dinner. That'll be fun. Big Mac salads are really good. And the Mountain Dew water seems to be a good hit. I am having, again, my peach water. Ashley's mother's dog passed last night. Yeah, it's hard when they pass early. They're such pure souls. That's why they have just so limited time here. Ashley, I'm sorry for that. Send condolences to your mama. Well, hopefully she's coming back. Like, she's been having some issues with this poor thing. There she is. Da-da-da-da.
Is that better? Is that better?
Well, it is, except I need you to do me a favor.
What's that?
You know the favor.
What did I do?
Rotate so you don't have boxes.
Oh, hang on. I opened up myself on my phone, so because
Awesome.
apparently my internet booster, even though it says it's on, apparently my computer's just like, I don't recognize it. And it says you are fully connected to the internet. And it's like, but everything just suddenly went spotty after I got that call. So I'm back.
Welcome.
Is that better?
Yes, that's doing great. A little bit higher.
A little bit higher. I don't know if I can make it go higher. Hang on. Can we do that? Hang on. This is so awkward. I feel like I'm going backwards.
Nice to see you taking your seat. How are you?
Hang on here. Let me see if I can move my table. Because as you can see, folks, I've moved into a different space.
She has.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Hang on. Let me put you down for a second. You're gonna go. Everything's gonna go black. Hang on.
Ah!
Ah. I was like, I knew one of you. I knew something was gonna happen. Like, I can't see anything. Where'd you go?
Yeah, she's gone into the portal.
I could just do the rest of the show just like this. You don't even have to look at me.
No, that's not acceptable.
You're like, no, please don't do that. Okay.
No, it would be bad that I hear your voice and not see you as often as we dress the same. It'll be like, okay, this is getting way too much, Natalie.
I know. I'm like trying not to show all of like the junk in the junk room, kind of, but that's okay. I'm here.
If that's the junk room, honey, dear gods.
Well, it's not. It's a work in progress. Okay, I'm making strides considering my
honey,
disability.
That looks like an organized office to me with everything everywhere.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's a matter of perspective. It's a work in progress, and it's in progress. Okay.
I'm not in the mood to do the scan of my office /closet /dog pen. So,
gotcha.
Multitasking rooms. We only need 7.4 square feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyhow, we were talking about drinking and what everyone is drinking.
I'm drinking what I always drink. It's tea. Hot tea. Hot English tea.
Straight from England.
It's what I've always had. It's what I will always have.
Mm-hmm. That's why it's coffee and tea.
Coffee and tea.
I don't drink tea that often anymore. I
mean, well, people now refer to tea as gossip, like spill the tea. But no, I'm like, no, I literally take it quite literally. Coffee and tea. It's tea.
It's very literally. But anyhow, we are going to talk about some gossip in general.
Yes.
But it's also a very sad situation that, caught my attention when I seen an old word that used to describe us trending on Twitter.
Oh.
The word visionary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, are we?
No. I never liked that term.
I've had somebody refer to me as like, they were like, oh my God, you're almost like a prophet. And I was like, please don't use that term with me.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, and they were like, that's not what you're doing. And I was like, what a prediction is different from what a prophecy is, okay? I was like, listen, the world ain't going to change by this one thing that I'm telling you is probably very likely going to happen in like the next 3 to 6 days. Okay, it's not a prophecy. It's just a prediction that within this time frame, this thing is going to start happening for you. Mm-hmm. Completely different.
Yeah, but no. And when I started seeing what it was, and it's kind of lucky that Miss Natalie is with us tonight because she remembers this being live. So you lived these events.
Oh yeah, I do remember these events.
Yeah,
I remember being horrified by the events. I remember looking at the screen going, I don't feel good about this. Uh-huh. I don't feel good about this. And then as it unfolded, I was like, well, I was right. It wasn't what the stories were telling us.
No. But the Lori Daybell case is what we're talking about tonight, and some of the weird combobulations that have occurred and how they're throwing around psychic terms for a Mormon cult. And I'm like, no, get out of my box.
Yeah.
Yeah. Circle. Casting. No. Get out of my box. Go back to your temple.
Yeah.
Back
Go
where you
back.
belong.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
That's not what we do here.
Energy work. Back to your temple. Yes, we do energy work. Stop using our terms.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know. And it's like, okay. So I started digging into this trial and I'm like, how freaking crazy is it that people believe this crap? I see it all the time though. I got to download about blah blah, and I'm like, you either got a vision, you got an inner sense, or you're at a clairvoyant moment. The only thing it downloads is my computer.
Yeah. Yeah, downloads and upgrades. And I'm like, well, I mean, people do tend to use modern day words as analogies for other things, but you're not getting a download. You're receiving information. Yes. Is that a download? No, but you received a message. You received information. That's all it is. It's nothing more. It's nothing less. You received information.
And it's not a revelation.
No. I mean, you can have personal revelations. You can have personal light bulb moments that are revelations about something, but that's not, again, a prophecy or a revelation about something that right. World changing and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The download turn drives you crazy. Yeah, it does me too. I think that's one of the reasons why I have just stayed off of TikTok, because there are so many overlapping opinions that either they don't, and they end up not making sense, or they end up getting twisted into ways that it doesn't make sense anymore, or the definition, it's like they're taking away from everything, and it drives me crazy. Right. And even just seeing the term baby witch made my skin crawl. It still does to this day, which is another reason why I stay off of the TikTok, because I'm just like, I can't stand these terminologies. You either are or you aren't. You either are doing or you're not doing. You're either participating in or you're not participating. You're either practicing or you are not practicing.
Right.
There's no and you can who is to judge the level of advancement on each other? You know what I mean? You can just say, hey, I'm just starting out on this journey, not I'm a baby witch, because that to me means that you are an infant. Yeah, that to me is like an infantile who can't, doesn't.
There are baby witches, and these are witches that come to circle, and they go to children's circle, and they have nappy circle, and they do nappy time. That is not a neophyte.
I'm like, if you were over the age of 12 and you were practicing anything, don't refer to yourself as a baby anything, in my opinion, because you're not a baby.
Right.
So stop calling yourself one.
Right.
Because babies don't know any better. They don't have the discipline. Okay, right. So start disciplining yourself immediately.
Well, you bring up a good point there, is having the discipline. Because witchcraft takes discipline.
It does.
Self-discipline.
It's a practice.
It's a practice. It's a theory. It's like medicine. It's a practice, meaning you're not perfect at it. You don't know it.
Right. But the more that you learn, the more that you know.
Right. And then you have to develop your own.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I'm just listening to this case, and my skin is crawling, and I'm going, there's got to be someone out there that needs, because no one's talking about the spiritual aspects of this. Mm-hmm. Here's what I'm talking about.
What she was claiming was happening to her, or the reason why.
Well, not only that,
she
but
did what she did.
It's drilled down into other things. They were producing podcasts like ours here. So that means that listeners were hearing this crap, so it'll pop back up. I remember months ago, there was this big hoopla over malachite. And I'm like, malachite, it brings money, it brings happiness, it cleanses energy. What's the big deal?
Right.
It's a green stone. What's the big deal?
And it's got some pretty cool markings and swirls in it if you get a nice piece.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it was this big spiritual awakening, strengthening stone, and I'm like, bullshit, my pendulum ain't moved in a month. It ain't awakening nothing. Like, it ain't even gonna wake up a dog. But this is what happens. Now, mark my words. Over the next 6 months, you're going to start seeing that term visionary that hasn't been used since like the late 90s pop the fuck up everywhere. Yep.
And there'll be a lot of negativity around it, and then there'll be other people with screaming positivity around it, and there'll be a lot of people questioning whether or not we're real or not because of what's going on around the case and all of that stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
now, we're going to have at least 2 cases. I think there will be a third one because we know both of them are going to appeal. But I think there will be a third case because we get Idaho and Arizona both have cases.
Right.
On her. On him, it's all Arizona. And they can't do the brother because the brother, of course, magically had a heart aneurysm or a brain aneurysm. And I'm still saying that's questionable.
Yeah.
So all this stuff is going to come out. So derivative or what waters down to us to this is we're the ones that are going to be going like, no, that's not how that is.
Right.
Nope, that's not how that is. Nope, that's not what that is. Nope, I will not do a casting to make your boyfriend come home.
Right, and if he does come home, he's going to come home angry that you've been stalking him for so long, and he's coming to bang on the door and demand that you stop.
Yeah.
He's got a restraining order in his hand. He came home all right.
Yeah.
He came home not in the way that you wanted him to, though.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, don't. Just don't.
Yeah.
Just don't. Shannon says, my butt is like, I followed the path till I was a late teen, and now I'm back on it since my kids are interested in it and ask me questions. But I'm far from a baby. Exactly.
Right. It's like in a crafting situation, they're like beginner, intermediate, advanced, and then expert.
Right.
You know, it's like you learn in steps, you learn in phases, and you could go through the beginner phase really fast. You could pick up things really, really quickly. You could advance really fast in things.
Mm-hmm.
Or you might not be able to. You might struggle in some areas. You know, you might not. You might struggle to find your path or what you gel with, what you jive with, what you pick up, what all those things. But at least you're practicing. At least you're trying.
Right. Well, here's a key example. I suck at runes. I'm a neophyte at rune reading. Don't ever ask me. I can do it. It isn't easy.
Right. Like I can do it, but it's not gonna be like.
It's not gonna be Jason's skill. Jason can throw the stones, throw the bones, and boom, there's your reading. Get done with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just do what I do. I don't have a label, right? I'm kind of like that too. It's like, what are you? I'm like, I don't even know how to describe myself. I'm a psychic medium, and they're like, well, what does that mean? And it's like,
well, you're more medium psychic.
Right. It's like I do both. It just kind of depends on the day. It depends on them. It depends on what they're telling me to do. It's like I can't control it.
Right.
And any medium on the internet who says that they can pull forward any spirit that you want to talk to is full of poop.
Oh, I'm still waiting. I have found a few of them on TikTok, and I love playing with them. Because there is one person I want to talk to, and if she pops up, I will know she has popped up. But until then, the world can sit there and wait.
Yeah. I had a client the other night who was saying that, like, I keep getting readings from this one person who keeps saying that, like, somebody from my past is coming back, and I laughed. Like, I laughed. And I was like, oh, no, honey, no, they're not. And this person goes, oh, thank God. And I was like, that was the last thing in the world that I wanted was that person to come back into my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, no, they're not coming back.
Yeah.
No.
No.
That's done. That was done a long time ago.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, that's what I thought. And they're like, I don't know why they kept telling me that they were coming back. And I was like, I don't know. Can't tell you why somebody else told you something, but in what I'm feeling, seeing, experiencing, all of that stuff, no, you don't have to worry about that person coming back into your life.
I know why. They were reading the top of it. They were reading that fear level. that
Right.
unconscious there.
Right. And I'm like, if I tell my clients, like, if I see bad news, if I feel bad news, if I feel like something's not going to work out, I'm going to say something. Even if you disagree with me, that is totally fine. Completely fine. If you're asking me about a relationship and you've got all of the butterflies and you're feeling all the feels and I'm pulling every single thing possible that's telling me that this is a bad idea, and you still go into the relationship and you call me out and say, you were wrong, this person's great, this person's fantastic, and I sit back and go, well, in 3 months' time, you're going to be calling me singing a very different tune.
Mm-hmm. And that is
and you could have avoided all of that if you had just listened to me in the first place.
Well, I know, but that is the aim of a true reader, and people do not like this idea that I have on a true reader. If I read that he is driving a red car when he meets you for a serious relationship and you call me, he's got a blue Cadillac. Okay, I will develop from that.
Yeah.
But if I see someone not re-entering your life or entering your life, and it doesn't happen today, well, that's cute. It'll happen tomorrow. It'll happen whenever. It's going to happen. You can sit there and delay it like you're delaying doing dishes. It's going to happen.
Right.
And it's holding faith in yourself. The other thing that's more aggravating, and this is an old play that I saw back in the 90s. I don't know how many ex Queen Elizabeth I saw and ex this ones I saw. Like I know 15, Queen Elizabeths who swear by the gods that they were Queen Elizabeth in a past life, or Marie Antoinette, and that's why they have to wear chokers on their necks, because they have to, remember.
Okay. I mean, I have a very strong suspicion that I had my head removed in a past life. Do I think that I was one of them? Absolutely not. Do I think that I was tortured in a past life? Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And do I think that I'm experiencing like physical remnants of that past life in this life? Well, yeah, absolutely I do. Absolutely I do.
We need to work with cell memory.
I mean, I've done a little bit of past life work,
Uh-huh.
and I've seen bits and pieces of who I was, or like
Right.
the type of people that I was around,
Right.
not necessarily who I was. Exactly, like no one was a peasant in their past life.
Oh, please. I've met plenty of peasants, farmers, wives, milk ladies.
I have too. Oh, for heaven's sake.
Oh, hold up. Hold the fucking train.
Inbox me private for your accurate reading, love. Inbox me private. I mean, that's your first clue, folks. Inbox me private.
Welcome to
if they can't.
This was a spammer. Total spammer. Okay, guys?
Yeah.
When you get messages like this, will you please yell back at them, spammer, and then block them?
Report them.
Report them? Like, right now, report them. This is the crap that we fight every day. Every day.
Every single day. Every single day.
Mm-hmm.
I wake up to, even like, they will come on a live stream that I posted like 2-3 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, what in the hell is wrong with you? You had to go deep into my page to find something in which to harass my fans.
Right. Get over it. Go get your own damn live stream. Don't be coming into ours.
Right. Like, there are other places that you could be for right now. Seriously.
Go do something. Go study your tarot. If you actually want to be a reader, go study your tarot. Go actually do the work. All right, let's take a break while my blood pressure calms down, and we'll be right back.
Absolutely.
Hey everybody, Lady Gwendolyn here, and as a certified spiritual life coach and shadow practitioner, I have thrown together everything that I have learned to develop a program that works for healing our shadow self and focusing on how we're going to heal ourselves for the future. I work with different types of energy work, such as EFT, TFT, and EFT energy, Reiki, access bars, and power forms. I've put them all together to create my own system that works. We also work with the tarot and the oracle. So I'm not just an energy worker and a healer, I'm a psychic as well. So you can go to Lady Gwendolyn Healing, find out all about me, and book with me on there. I love you guys, and I will see you out there.
Welcome back, goblins! My name is Jason, and I am the host of the Esoteric Book Club, a podcast that examines titles on the magical, paranormal, the mysterious, and the strange. I release 2 episodes a month, in which I review books on esoteric topics, recap news of the weird, and conduct interviews with authors, practitioners, and experiencers. The Esoteric Book Club can be found on every major podcast service, or can be streamed directly from esotericbookclub.org.
Hi, I'm Aeson Knight. I've been working as a psychic for more than 20 years. I was born with psychic gifts at the age of 3. And with that, I'm able to help you with your love. Relationships get very complicated. I help you understand what's going on, where it's headed, where your next love is, what the lesson is, and how to improve that. I also work in career and dealing with career fields and different job opportunities and things you would like to experience in your life. I use the tarot. My favorite deck is the Gilded Tarot, and that's what I normally grab. But I also read angel cards. I also read Ascended Master cards. And I use astrology and numerology in your readings. All that tied in together with my clairvoyant skills, I'm able to get in there and answer your important questions quickly, clearly, and fast. I look forward to talking to you. You have a great day.
All right, welcome back. Now, we got a comment coming in. I want to address it. Can I, please?
Yes, go for it. What?
Yeah, because I feel like this is one of your clients, one of your followers. So, okay, the comment is, I wish I knew what happened in my past life. Everyone tells me it must be bad since I have such bad juju.
No,
Oh.
Incorrect. In fact, Bambi, you have been more of a victim of other people's decisions instead of your own. And yes, you've been having a few negative hands been given to you, like a few bad cards been handed to you. But what you don't realize is that you've got hidden aces in pockets that you completely forgot about.
Right.
And I know that I'm using like gambling like things here. But I feel like that you kind of need to give it like a little bit of a gamble on yourself here. Yes, you faced a lot of negativity. A lot of it has happened because of other people's decisions and other people's choices and things like that. However, what you're dealing with in your human body right now is through no fault of your own, and it's not related completely to a past life situation. Yes, you're going through struggles right now. It will change. Okay. I know that you're really like, oh, I don't believe it. Yeah, I know you don't. It's okay. It's fine. I love you to pieces. But look at this, the card that just came out, this card of letting go. Okay, so let go of that thought, let go of that belief system, let go of that negativity. Okay, let go of that little burden. Okay, it's kind of like a 10 of Wands card, like you're carrying too much. Drop it so that you can actually climb up that mountain a lot faster and easier, so it's not going to be so arduous for you. Hope that makes sense.
All right, now my turn.
Okay.
All right, and this is for everyone that is carrying around this. I must have been a terrible person in my past life because everything is bad, everything's negative. Stop it. No, that is like saying if you miss the word church in 2nd grade, then you're going to fail 3rd and 4th grade spelling. Doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way in our school system. Even though our school system is terrible, it doesn't work that way in the theory of past life reincarnations. Things that you do bring into this life. You bring in the connections you had, your little soul school group, kind of like your classes. When you went to elementary and then you went to the next year in elementary, you had a lot of the same students. You bring that in. Sometimes you bring in what's called cell memory. Example, if you lost a foot in one life, you may come into this life and around the same age that you lost the foot, you begin having problems out of that, your left foot, for example. That's called
Yep.
cell memory. And with that, you have to literally reprogram your mind and ask spirit guide, spirit, whatever, to take that away because it should have been held with the veil.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't. Okay?
I think that some people's phobias and fears, like the irrational fears that were unprompted.
Yes.
Like people who just always been afraid of something. There's no real reason for it. Nothing happened to them. They've just always been like terrified of something. I think that there's like a past life connection with that as well, like phobias and fears.
Right.
Like people who are claustrophobic in a past life may have either been buried alive in a cave somewhere, like something happened to them where they were trapped, and like that fear has carried over. The like, oh my god, it's going to happen again.
Right. So, if you think that you've got bad juju because of your past lives, then here's your prescription. You are going to write every day, 5 times, on a sheet of paper, I draw my own luck. 5 times. Then whatever your problem is. Let's say your problem is you continually have bad financial choices. Then you're going to write an affirmation 5 times. I draw money to me with ease. 5 times. Until you figure out that that is not your problem. The other problem there is if a lot of the crap being created to you by situations, that means you are not doing your journaling. And if you've got some levels of empathism, I'm looking at you, Joe, you probably should, like, I don't know, add about a 1/4 cup of salt, I don't care what type of salt, to your body wash, shaky, and use it because you're other people's dirt. Okay. My viewpoints. What do I know? Not that much, but a lot of useless information.
Right, like I know some stuff.
Yeah, I know some stuff. Like there is no God, and I really want people to go through every religious system and look for a God that's in charge of karma. That is their job. They hand out karma cookies. Sweet karma sugar if you were good in this life, and bad karma cookies if you were bad in this life, that have, like, I don't know, healthy fruit and, saccharin and, aspartame in them, all the nasty crap. There's no God that's that job. We create and build and design and cast on our own karma. So you're carrying around guilt that you need to be sorting out. And if you keep that behavior up, Aeson's next exercise is every time you put yourself down, you have to put a rock in your purse. You'll either stop eventually, you'll either get tired of the backache from carrying a bag full of rocks, or you'll stop putting yourself down.
Speaking of backache.
Oh, speaking of your backache, do we want to talk about your backache and my prescription for that?
I was like, speaking of backaches, like, yeah, I feel that one.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, so let's see. Let's divine on Natalie's backaches and the problems there and how we can improve it.
So, so a lot of you know that, or at least have been alluded to, that I live with chronic pain. Mm-hmm. And they might not understand why I live with chronic pain. Well, I went to... today was now the fourth opinion. Fourth opinion from a medical professional, where I have in my 20s, I had cervical spinal fusion. Now, with that, I had what's called a discectomy. So in your spine, you have your vertebrae and then you have your discs. And the discs are like little cushions in between your vertebrae, right? And unfortunately for me, through a lot of injury and trauma, I have developed through in not just my cervical spine, but in my lumbar spine, degenerative disc disease. I have sacroiliac joint dysfunction. I have bulging discs in 6 levels of my spine.
You're still a level behind on me.
What's that?
You're still a level behind on me.
You're just one little level behind.
Yeah.
And then I have spinal canal stenosis. So my spinal canal is starting to shrink, and the problem that I am facing is that everyone's like, well, you should just go and get a chiropractic adjustment, and that will help alleviate some of that. And I was like, okay, so from what I have been told from all of these doctors is that if I had a lateral disc bulge, yes, they could help me manipulate and give myself some extra space for that disc to kind of go back into its space. However, my disc is not just protruding laterally, it's also going into the anterior towards the spinal canal.
Mm-hmm.
And that space is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and the disease is now spreading to all of the surrounding levels. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like mold, if you will. And I know that that's a horrible analogy to use, but I mean, I'm allergic to penicillin, so why don't we just like like use mold as my metaphor here? Mm-hmm. So with mold spreads, right? Like if you have a piece of moldy bread and put another piece of bread onto it, the spores are going to transfer onto that piece of bread, and then in a few days you're going to start seeing white spots, green spots, blue spots, whatever on that piece of bread. Mm-hmm. And then the next piece of bread that's touching that piece of bread is going to get infected. Mm-hmm. And the problem that I am facing is that I have degenerative disc disease and all of these issues at the top of my spine and at the very bottom of my spine, and they are slowly starting to meet in the middle. And both levels are encroaching on my thoracic spine. And once that happens, basically, the damage that I have now is completely irreversible, cannot be stopped. It's at a level of severity now that I've been declared as severe. And there's no fixing that. Once things get to a severe level, it's damage is done, and there's really no going back from it, but it's just going to progress in that mold. The DDD is just going to continue to spread down my spine and cause me a whole slew of physical problems. And while I can sit and beg for them to do surgery and to fuse certain levels of my spine, I'm not that bad yet. And I'm like, see, I disagree with that.
Right. Now,
I disagree with your opinion completely.
Do you want friend-to-friend advice on how to handle this?
Yes, go for it.
All right. First of all, I've never been a fan of chiropractors. However, I would highly suggest some yoga.
And I have been doing that.
I also would suggest taking and putting the edge of your neck, where your neck cricks in at, mm-hmm. on the edge of the bed. And you're going to lay flat on your back, and you're going to try to stretch your legs as far out as you can. Mm-hmm. Okay. Secondly, we're going to work on controlling pain. So we're going to starve the pain.
Yeah.
So that's no sugar or natural sugar, meaning no white processed sugars.
Right.
No white processed breads, because both of those have gluten. Both of those feed the pain centers.
Right.
Those also are inflammatories. You also need to not do tomatoes or what is called, what is it?
Nightshade food.
Nightshade family, because that is an inflammationary thing.
Yeah.
All right. So with that, I would also suggest that you figure out how much water you have to have in your body each day. So I've been consciously upping my water intake. Forcing myself, as soon as I wake up in the morning, after, becoming conscious or whatever, and trying to rate my pain scale on a level of 1 to I don't want to, for that moment, because every day is different. And I have good days, and then I have flare-up days, and those flare-up days, they're not great. They're not fun.
you'll notice on my daily appointments that I have nothing available, and that's usually because I'm not having a great day.
Yeah. Well, and that happens. But when we sit here and talk about this, because I deal with RA, I have 7 bulging discs. I also have something wrong with my neck. I'll let them deal with some other things. These are things that control and shut off pain centers.
Yeah.
When you have hydration, that means that the fluid in your spine has enough fluid to stretch. And even though you have a smaller area, you want more fluid in there. You want cold water, not just water, cold water.
Cold, yeah.
I highly recommend getting a 40 ounce. I have to kill 3 of these a day. That's not a lot. In the mind, you have to play mind game there.
Right.
120 ounces, 40, 80. Yeah, 120 ounces sounds like a lot. 4 of these a day, not that really.
It's
also
not that much.
60s, and I can just kill 2 of those a day, and I'll be happy, and my body will be happy. And then the other thing is looking at what you eat. Take out your inflammatories.
And I've noticed that whenever I am in a lot of pain, my appetite goes to 0.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to eat. Don't want to. I feel sick because I'm in pain, or it's just I'm trying to focus on not being in pain, and I can't think about eating right now because I have no appetite because I'm focused on trying to manage something else. You know, it was like last night, it was like 2 a.m, and I was like, I probably should eat something before I actually go to bed, because otherwise I'm going to wake up in 2 hours starving because I haven't eaten anything since like 12 noon. You know, I was like, it's been way too long, and I should probably eat something.
Right. Peanut butter and crackers help me with that on the flare-ups. Agreed. Protein, as much protein as we can get into ourselves, is better because it helps the body repair itself.
And I take magnesium supplements as well, which helps a lot.
Right.
It does. I eat bananas for like the potassium as well. You know, I'm like, I take turmeric with black pepper because you need those 2 together in order for you to take like the anti-inflammatory benefits. I've even taken like valerian root at night to help me relax enough. Huh?
Lecithin?
Yes. That as well. I've got a little thing in my cabinet.
Okay.
Also, it was suggested like a glucosamine supplement as well, but they didn't tell me dosage for joints, lubricating joints.
Okay. That's a cup of Jello a day.
Huh?
A cup of Jello a day.
Okay. I can do that.
Yeah. Those little Jello cups, those are 8 ounces of Jello.
Yeah.
It'll have enough glucosamine in it without getting the process.
Without having to get like the little supplements. I can't remember which one it was. Someone suggested it, and I was like, okay. And I was like, and then I looked it up, and I was like, oh, there's different dosages. Yeah. and I was taking ibuprofen like 400, like 2 of the extra strength things, and they're like, you need to take like 8 at a time, 3 times a day, and I was like, that seems excessive. And they're like, your pain and your body is excessively bad. They're like, you don't understand.
Okay, when we are off air, I will give you my emergency pain suggestion. But I will state for the record that you can take 4,800 milligrams of ibuprofen or Motrin within 24 hours. But if you are at that level, you have to take a dairy product or Tums to coat your stomach.
Right, otherwise your other organs are going to hate you in a very short period of time.
Right, and you also have to flush, which means at that time you up your fluid to being not only your minimum, like let's say 120, you have to then go 180 fluid senses to keep your liver from burning the fuck out. Right, because it will. Yes, it will. And I was saying that even with my doctor, I was like, I'm scared of taking too much ibuprofen. And I was like, you guys are worried about people abusing opiates. And I'm like, I'm sitting here going,
my kidneys and liver
Right.
could shut down if I take too much ibuprofen.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I'm like, I'm not worried about becoming addicted to an opiate. You guys gave me those in the past when my neck kind of collapsed on itself and it didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Opiate
you know, I don't think you have to worry about me becoming, you know, having a problem when I wasn't taking it to start with.
Right. But see, here's the thing with the opioids, and this is the reason I'm like, no opioids, no narcotics in my system, is because once you activate those centers, there's always that open port there. And
Right.
then when it gets, let's say if we get to level 8, if we're on a normal human pain scale, which is not when you live in chronic pain, if it gets to an 8 and your resource is, and you've already had opioids at 6 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1, at 8 it's not going to work.
Right.
So you know what they're going to have to then do? Give you ketamine, give you what's the other one? Paxil with your pain pill.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So no, delay opioids and narcotics as long as possible.
Yeah, it's like I laugh whenever they ask me, like, so what's your pain level on a scale of 1 to 10? And I was like, in comparison to what?
Right.
Like, because I'm like, if I was honest, if I woke up suddenly in the amount of pain that I'm in right now, I would be like, shoot me now.
Okay, you've had a child.
Whoa. Yeah. I'd much rather. I'd much rather.
You're 10.
Yeah, I'd much rather.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would much rather have.
I know.
They're like, be careful what you ask for, Nat. And I'm like, I'm shutting my mouth.
Yes. But anyhow,
you get what I mean.
I know what you mean. But things that help in pain. Cocoa powder is a pain reliever. If you ever get this need for chocolate, your body's looking for a pain reliever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It's looking to aid and build there. So keep chocolate. 70 to 80% cocoa is best.
The super dark stuff I like.
Yes, you want that dark, bitter chocolate. You don't want the Hershey. Hershey bars are cute, but it's not chocolate.
I can't eat Hershey's chocolate because it's made with, well, I won't go there.
Yeah.
It's made with something, it has something in it
Uh-huh.
that the very first time we came to America, my family bit into a bar and my mother and I both said, I was like, this tastes like vomit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, why does it taste like the milk went sour?
Uh-huh.
I was like, it's like soured milk, like stomach acid and soured milk.
Right.
And many years later found out that the compound that is in stomach acid and vomit is the same compound that they use in Hershey's chocolate.
Right.
So that funky taste that you experience in the back of your throat, in the back of your nose, that little funk that Hershey's chocolate has, that's vomit flavor.
Now, this will sound like it's counterintuitive advice. If you are hurt, start walking.
Yeah.
I mean, walk. Walk up and down the street, walk through your kitchen, walk around your house. If you are hurting, move.
I stand more than I sit.
Yeah. But
which is like, and people look at me like, aren't you just in like so much pain? Why don't you sit down? Like everyone's like, just sit down. I was like, oh my God. Like, I'm like, even sitting now, I'm sitting so far forward. Like if I had a corset on, I would be like, oh my God, this feels amazing. You know, if I didn't, I have to have, my back has to be like so straight. Because if I relax my back at all, it makes it hard to breathe. Like the pain is so bad, it hurts to breathe.
Right, and that is an old recommendation, is to tighten your corset.
Mm-hmm. To give yourself like that little bit of support. And you don't think I've been looking at corsets online? Because I'm like, this looks like it would help my back.
Right, so here's my tips for corsets. You do not want steel rods, you want bone.
Right, because it's going to have that flexibility to it without them snapping so hard on me.
We'll have the support. The steel rods or the metal rods will flex. That's why if you see all these modern corsets and they just flex and bend, you know, if you're holding a corset and you can do this to it, that ain't a corset.
That or you didn't season it, you just threw it on and tightened it up without actually seasoning it first, what you're supposed to do, folks. Season your corsets.
Yes.
Look it up.
Look it up.
People are like, season your corsets.
Right.
Yes.
Wall sitting is a great option, and then it's literally setting up against the wall.
Like, I always have to have pillows up behind my back. Like, even driving in the car, I'm like, I'm sure I look like crazy because I'm sitting at like a damn 90-degree angle in the car, you know, but I'm like, it is the only way that I can drive without like having to like take control of the breath because my lower back, you know, whenever you relax your lower back kind of like curves and bends that little bit, you know, and that is barbarically painful.
Right. Now, here's the other thing. Do not sit for more than 2 hours.
Yeah, no, I can't do that either. Yeah. Even when we drove up to Pittsburgh, we like every rest stop, which was like every, like, you know, it was like every hour or something like that, we got out and walked around.
When you're traveling, you can be on the road for 2 hours, and then you have to set a time. I set a timer. This is why it takes Aeson so long anymore to go anywhere.
Yeah.
We take at least 30 minutes at the rest stop so I can get up and move.
Yeah.
Now, as you're shopping for a new vehicle, you want to look for an electric-powered seat so that you can instantly change your position by the push of a button. Yes, that's expensive, but that's going to be a requirement.
That, and I would like heated seats too.
Do you know they also make a heated bed thing?
A heated what thing?
A heated pad for your bed.
I have a heating pad, but I didn't you're talking about like the bigger ones? The
bigger one that covers the whole bed?
I'll have to look at that because it is like, it's like, I'm like, I wish that I could put one. It's like I need ice on my neck and I need heat on my back. It's like, you know, I'm like, it's one of those, and then on my legs even, it's like, you know, I need heat on my legs and I have neuropathy. And then I like, what I said to my doctor, I was like, it feels like someone has a blowtorch against like against like the outside of my leg. And it feels like someone's just holding a blowtorch to it all the time. You know what that feels like, guys? Can you imagine what it feels like having a blowtorch on your skin 24/7? And everyone's like, there's no reason for that.
I do. And the other side of that is when you feel nothing but ice water dripping down your leg.
Right. I mean, at this point, I would much rather. No. You know, I would trade it just for a minute, but, you know.
Yeah, it'll drive you nuts, but heated pads and movement. As much movement as you can get in. Not lifting. Yeah. We're looking for natural movement.
Oh yeah. Even the neurosurgeon that I went to, and he wrote, I have it in writing, that he said that I'm going to be in disabling pain for the rest of my life, given what's happening in my back, and it's going to progressively get worse, and it's severe, and you know, all of these things. And I'm sitting here reading this and I was like, yeah, I've heard other people say this too. And I was like, you know, I'm like, you're not the first person to tell me this. Like, you know, and I was like, is money, and everyone's like, get another opinion. I'm like, listen, folks, there's only so many opinions that you can get. I can see it. I've seen the pictures. I've seen what the inside of my back looks like. Gotta be honest. Doesn't look great. It's slowly starting to look like a Jackson Pollock in there. It's not looking. It's not looking like it makes sense anymore. It's just a bunch of splattering chaos.
Right, and that's where your body will adapt. But at the same time, and I know this sounds bad, but I'm 20 years into this game.
Yeah.
You'll get used to it, but use these tactics. Honestly, use these tactics. If you need to go out and walk, grab an umbrella and go. The other thing, you're not going to like this. You know those walking under those golf umbrellas that are high as hips?
Yeah.
Goes in the back of the car. The canes get put throughout the house because you may be walking through the hall and all of a sudden you can't feel your left leg.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's like I could have moments where I'm totally fine. In the house, I'm like, I have a wall that I can hold on to. There's going to be a doorknob somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, I have access to something in my home that I'm going to be able to lean on. I do have a cane that I use, but it's like as soon as I leave the house, I'm like, I know I'm going to have one. Right. Because even if I'm just lightly using it, I'm like, at any second, I'm going to step the wrong way, and I'm going to want to scream in pain because my groin is suddenly feeling like it's just had an electric prod put inside of it.
Right. The other thing is you have, and I told you when you first started this journey, you have to do the stretches and the yoga. You have to, otherwise, and I know it hurts, but it will benefit you. If you do not, you will hurt worse.
Yeah, and I do them in the shower even, like, because I'm already warmed up and everything. And I was like, listen, if I'm going to do some stretches or if I'm going to, like, push myself a little bit further, I'm going to do it while I'm standing underneath something warm and cozy so I can at least distract myself from the discomfort I'm putting myself in right now.
Right. All right, guys. So we hope you've enjoyed and this was not medical advice. We are not giving medical advice.
We are not. We're just discussing our own personal medical journeys.
Exactly. And letting you guys listen in. But if you are in pain, eliminate your nightshades. If you can get a vasodilator, you will be surprised what it does. The little blue pills do a lot more than what they're designed for. But with that, let's wrap the show up, and we will see Miss Natalie on week 4 in May. And pop in and do some lives of her own. And guys, pay attention to the news and then come back to us and we'll talk about the psychic side of stuff before we get a lot of misinformation out there. We hope you've enjoyed coffee and tea, but my cup's empty and I'm sure Natalie's tea cup is empty. And we will see you next time. We want to give a thank you to our Patreons. Thank you, Beverly Walker, Mika G, Kathy, Mary Winfield, Brenda Bryant, Shannon C, Shannon D, Lady Gwendolyn, Charles Shaw, Tracy Van, Caitlin Bell, and Devon. If you want to learn more about the barista support team, go over to PCSP Network and click barista. It will take you to our new tiers with massive discounts now added. Natalie, are you running your
Yes. I've got my Patreon. So if you want to become a patron of mine, go to patreon.com and search for the Pendulum's Path LLC. Also, a big shout out to my patrons. We've got Nikki Moran, Brenda Bone, Kelly Daniels, Bambi Joe, and Ann McCardle. Big, massive thank you to them as well. They all join me for monthly readings and all of that stuff. And I do plan on doing a live stream, not this week, but next week. I will be doing a live stream.
Awesome.
For readings.
Yeah. All right, guys. You have a great evening. Bye, y'all.
Bye, guys.